guys, welcome back to Glam Mirror. I'm Dr. Tabitha Samir, and today I want to talk to you about the health benefits of dairy. It's a part of every American diet, whether you have a little bit of dairy in your coffee or you're putting a little bit of cheese on your pizza. But there's also so many misinformation out there from people about dairy and the potential negative side effects of dairy. So what's true, what's false? Well, I am happy to say that today I have Dr. Travis Stork, who's the host of the Emmy Award-winning TV show, The Doctors. He's joining us remotely from a dairy farm in New Mexico. Yep, you heard that right. And we're gonna have a great discussion about the health benefits and the nutritional benefits and the new clinical research of the benefits of dairy in your American diet.
Good morning.
Hi, Dr. Stork. It's great to talk to you again. How are you doing today?
Life is good. How are you?
I'm great. How are things on the farm right now?
Things are great. It's a beautiful day. I got to watch the sunrise a little bit earlier. And, you know, this is just a cool opportunity for me to literally get out in the field. I'm at this beautiful dairy farm in Clovis, New Mexico, and really enjoying my morning.
Well, it's really a fascinating thing that we're talking about today. We're talking about dairy and about the misconceptions. I get a lot of questions also, mainly that there are a lot of bad information out there about dairy. What are some of the things you can tell us about why it's such an important part of our diet?
Well, I always say you got to figure out what works for you, but people ask me as a doctor if I include dairy in my diet. I do every single day, and that's one of the reasons why I partner with the family farmers at Dairy Max to be here today, because whether it's half and half, and yes, I use half and half in my coffee in the morning instead of sugar, or my daily bowl of yogurt, which is loaded with good probiotics, calcium, vitamin D, protein to help you feel full longer. But then the biggest thing is in 10 years of hosting the doctors and all the years of being a doctor and talking to people about everything from how to eat more vegetables or get your kids to eat more vegetables, you know, I'm a big believer in using things like cheese to make not only pizza your vegetable delivery system, but make those salads so robust and tasty. And a lot of people are missing out on these health benefits because they're afraid to enjoy those benefits of dairy.
Exactly, and whether you just have a little bit of half and half in the morning to a little bit of yogurt, it incorporates so many of these nutrients that people could be missing. What are some things, you already mentioned protein and such, but what are some things that you miss when you exclude dairy from your diet?
Well, and again, there are certain individuals out there who, for whatever reason, that's not their thing. But when it comes down to it, when you talk about dairy, and you mention the protein, you talk about vitamin D, you talk about the calcium, but then the other thing that is forgotten in all of this is really this new field of research where fermented dairy products offer so much value, so much bang for your nutritional buck. And it's not just yogurt. I've written a lot lately about a drink people are not as familiar with, but will become more familiar with, and that's something known as kefir, which you can add to your cereal or milk, and what you get are those great probiotics. But the biggest thing is this, also portability. Right here is this wonderful shake. I call it a shake, not a smoothie, because you got to fool the kids, but you got Greek yogurt with blueberries and apples, and it's just such a great way to get nice nutritional balance, and also it's an on-the-go thing that you can take while you're on your way to work or driving the kids to school.
Now, aside from a person's individual medical issues, assuming somebody is perfectly healthy and can enjoy the benefits of milk, and they're told for whatever reason by the media that milk is not supposed to be ingested by humans because it comes from a cow, which I hear a lot as a doctor too, how would you address that?
Well, again, I always say you got to figure out what works for you. But having said that, you know, there's a lot of recent new data out there about the nutritional benefits of dairy, and I'll use the example of some of the new studies on yogurt where it shows that people who regularly eat yogurt might weigh less. They may have decreased amount of inflammation in their bodies, lower risk of cardiovascular disease, lower risk of diabetes. And again, when you start talking about the benefits, you're seeing the protein, you're seeing the vitamin D, calcium, but also the probiotics. And I think for people out there, you know, you're looking for an easy on-the-go snack. One of the things I always take with me and keep it in the fridge at work is yogurt. And it's because it's so transportable. And I think people who haven't tried it, give it a whirl, because again, there are potential health benefits that you're missing out on.
And you discussed probiotics. Personally, when I travel, I have GI issues when I travel, so yogurt helps me a lot. Could you quickly explain what probiotics are and how beneficial they are for the digestive system?
They're essentially beneficial bacteria that you're replenishing your gut with, because we've learned that people who have a leaner frame have up to 70% more gut bacteria, more diverse species. So when you eat foods like yogurt, or one again that people may not have heard of, kefir, which is a dairy drink that's fermented, they actually have these beneficial bacteria, and call them reinforcements. You're sending them into your gut, and they do so many things for you, including tamp down inflammation, improve your immune system. And again, dairy is just such a great way to add those into your diet.
And the kefir you speak of is fermented, and that adds another bunch of benefits. What options for lactose intolerant people are there? Do you know?
Well, the one thing I will say is certain foods like cheese, Greek yogurt, where they're fermented, a lot of people who have an intolerance are actually going to do fine with those. Or there are lactose-free options out there. If you go to the dairy aisle and go for the lactose-free options, it's still real milk. It's just without the lactose. So a lot of options out there. And what I always tell people is you got to experiment with what's right for you. No two individuals are alike. But what it comes down to, a healthy life is one of moderation, it's one of balance, and it's of including as many different quality food groups as you can.
Got it. And it's important to know that lactose-free milk substitutes are actually milk. They're not just a milk substitute. Okay, my last question. What's your favorite dairy product on the farm right now?
Before me? Right now?
Yeah, right now. Right now where you are.
The cheese tray. I mean, and that's the
I
thing.
had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yeah, the cheese tray, or I got to say, that vegetable pizza looks pretty good, doesn't it?
I wish I could have a bite, all right?
We'll send you some.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for teaching us for all the benefits of milk and dairy in your diet, Dr. Stork.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.